Hello and welcome back again to Soul Search Sunday with Johnny Tiger and kittens hiding in the background.
In the background.
In the background. If we turn the camera around, we can see that she's naked.
No, no,
No, she's not. She's not. She just doesn't wear a lot of clothes.
no, don't say that either.
Maybe if we get another 100 subscriber to this channel, then we'll get to see what she dresses like at home.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there. I just pimped her out. Great. So, September 2nd, 2022, Soul Search Sunday. Actually, getting this done before I go cook dinner. We're gonna have chicken broccoli tonight, one of
Yay.
Kitten's favorite meal.
Yes.
Um, a lot of people kind of think that psychology and all this stuff, all this new age way of reading a person and categorizing people into different personalities and all that stuff. People think this is a new thing. Like people who are in psychology can tell you that a lot of this got started back in around the 1900, 1800 even. Uh, I don't even want to go into Freud and all those guys, but yeah, it's not a new thing, but it actually go a lot further than this. Right? Now, of course, every year, every few years, there's a new trend, labeling, adding words like uh, this past 10 years, we hear a lot of people say, so and so is a narcissist. Oh, so and so is narcissistic. And you're evil. You're bad. You're narcissistic. My ex girlfriend is narcissistic. My ex boyfriend was a narcissist. My dad is a narcissist. Like, people start throwing this narcissist word around. This is just one of those examples of a psychology trend, a word, a label that some psychologists, maybe Dr. Phil, maybe Dr. Laura, maybe one of those television doctors, casually throw out in their program, on their show, or someone even like Judge Amy casually throw it out there, or Oprah throw that out there. Next thing you know, it becomes the hottest word, like it just got invented or something. And so now here's the thing: when it's easy to turn it into a witch hunt. Why do I say that? Because when you take a word and start trying to put it on somebody, you will find that it fits almost anybody. It will even fit you yourself if you are honest with yourself. So a lot of time people say, "Oh, this new. I never knew narcissists existed before. Now how come they're everywhere?" Because they've always been there. Narcissists, people, this tendency has been going around since the beginning of humanity, and the reason that we are seeing it everywhere because people are trying to label people as narcissists to begin with. When you try hard enough to look, so let me give you an example. Let's say narcissist tendency is someone who uh, always blames things on others. Now, when you take that and you try to put it on people around you, even people who actually don't do that, even people who actually don't do that, the one time that you hear them say, "It wasn't my fault." Oh, you're a narcissist. You just say it wasn't your fault, so you're trying to blame on others. You're a narcissist, right? like, why am I talking like Trevor Noah? I don't know. I guess because we listened to him too much today. But that's just a quick example. Like, if you take a word, the one of these psychology trend, and just start looking around trying to stick it on somebody, it's going to suddenly look like everybody around you is a psychopath. Everyone around you is a narcissist. Everyone around you is multiple personality. Everyone around you is psychosis. Everyone around you is a sociopath. Because you look hard enough, you are going to find these traits in everybody.
Mhm.
But that is me digressing a little bit. I mean, just a little rant before the actually what I'm talking about. So going back to talking about psychology is not new. As far as 2,500 years ago, there was a Greek doctor that published an article that categorized human into four emotional type. 2,500 years ago, someone already started doing this. Okay, so this psychologist, or not psychologist, this doctor, this Greek doctor, um, I'm not going to go into all the educational jargon and all the professional lingo because number one, you won't understand it. Number two, I don't remember them. Go ahead, you can laugh. I know you want to laugh.
Good point. Good point.
So, um, basically, this doctor wrote that human beings, no matter boy, girl, man, women, old, young, fall into four categories emotional states. Number one, the emotionally very, very tough people. So this is the tough emotional state. Um, I'm kind of dumbing this down to the basic level so we can all understand. So, what is a tough emotional state? These are the people who seem implacable. These are the people who the house can blow down around their ears and they just stand there. Oh well, we got to rebuild. We got to do this. We got to get wood. We got to get more of this. We got to go out and get water. These are the great leader type. These are the people that always seem like nothing is going to shake them. Nothing is going to face them. Even uh, when tragedy happen, they're okay. On the flip side, these people, the tough people, the emotionally tough people, they will come across as very callous. They will come across as very hard to get along with because you always feel uh, inferior when you stand next to them. You always feel that you don't know how to read them. You always feel that they don't understand you because they are obviously so far and above the rest of us. They don't even feel pain. They don't even feel sorrow. So these are the people that emotionally they are very tough, but emotionally they are also very, very distant from other people. They're so detached from other people's pain and emotion that it's hard to get along with them. Second type of people is emotionally very hot people. These people, uh, they 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 have a lot of drive. They have so much in there that when they lose their temper, they lose their temper really big. Like they get really, really angry. They do some crazy explosive thing. But on the flip side, these people also are some of the best workers out there because they when they want to do something, they go and get it done. They don't care how hard they have to work. They don't care how much resources they got to expend. They don't care how late they have to stay up. They're going to go get it done. So these people, while they can be challenging to get along with because of how explosive their temper is, or how they're always go 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 go, and how they're always rush 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 rush. These people have the benefit of have always having that drive, just uh, getting a lot done in the shortest amount of time. The third type is the emotionally flexible people, adaptable people. These are the people who always seem to come up with new ideas. These are the people who always want to try new things. These are the people who always are up to new challenges, new changes. They want to change their decor every week. They want to buy a new car. They want to buy the newest phone. There's a new book come out. They have to read it. These are the people who are always looking for the new horizon. These are the adventurers. These are the inventors. These are the researchers. But on the other hand, these people are very hard to trust because these people are always getting bored. The moment they get bored, they move on. These are the people that emotionally they're always ready for change. They're never going to stay put. So the moment they feel that they're bored with you, they leave you. The moment they feel they're bored with this job, they move on. So they are great for finding new things to do. They're great to hang out as friends because they always want to find a new restaurant. They always want to try new things. But uh, you will find that it's very exhausting trying to keep up with them because they never stay put. Last but not least, it's the emotionally sensitive people, which is actually the main topic of today. In Chinese language, we call these people we call them people with glass heart, heart of
Oh.
glass. What are these people? What are the people with heart of glass? These are people. I'm sure you and I, we have all experienced this because we all have friends and family and relatives and people like that in our life. You're joking with them, they're joking with you, everything's fine, and suddenly you say something and whoops, they're mad. Okay? Like you crossed the line, you didn't even know it was there. You said something, they are now pissed off. Now you're in a fight or argument or apologizing for something you don't even know what you did wrong. Or you're doing something together, and then you're telling them what they can do better. They're telling you what you can do better. You're giving each other feedback and criticizing each other, and suddenly, oops, they're mad. They're pissed off. They don't want to talk to you anymore. A friendship is gone. Like you can go from friends to no friend in 1 second with people with an emotionally sensitive type and what we call the people with heart of glass. Um, things can be really, really good at a party, and just because someone says something, suddenly it's a sucky party. Everyone's against them, and they don't like anybody anyway, and they think everybody hates them. Uh, these are the emotionally very sensitive people. Their heart is just like glass, easy to shatter, easy to break, easy to get broken. And when that heart break, when that glass break, it's going to cut them and it's going to cut you, cut everybody. Now, some people say, "Well, that sounds like a lousy personality type." But if we flip that around, this is a personality type that's going to pay the most detail to friends. This is a personality because they are sensitive. So they're sensitive to what they are doing, what other people need as well. So these are the people that are super detail oriented. When they work, they sometimes they are the best worker because they will pay attention to little details and get everything right, trying to make sure everybody's happy, trying to make sure that they don't leave anybody out or they don't leave out any uh, little details. So they are really good worker. They're very compassionate. They're very nurturing to people. People with glass heart are very good at having empathy and sympathy and all that stuff. Like they sometimes make the best teachers, nurses, counselors, psychologists, uh, etc., etc. So it is not a bad personality. You just need to understand what it is. And it's a very sensitive personality that can uh, if you don't know how to handle it, then you are going to end up glitching with these people a lot. So today I want to take this episode and basically give you guys a little bit, just a simple little tip to how to get along with people with hearts of glass. Because it is an art, okay? It is an art to do this. Um, First, I'll give you a little uh, footing, a little basis on how to understand people. Why do people have this personality type? Why do some people develop hearts of glass? Why? Okay, it comes down to three things. A lot of times, a combination of all three, or just two of the three. But if you look around yourself and identify which one of your people you know have heart of glass, and then you look into their background, they are going to fulfill at least one of these three conditions. One, their birth, the condition of their birthright is questionable. Take myself for example. I'm going to give you guys a confession. Johnny Tiger. A lot of people would say Johnny Tiger is the type number one, the tough type, the really tough one. No, that's not me. Okay? Actually, I am. If anything, I am more close to someone with a heart of glass because with me, Kitten knows this. Kitten knows that with me, everything can be fine and fine, but there's an invisible line. You cross that line, I'm pissed off. It takes me a long time to calm down. So uh, my heart is sort of like a heart of glass. I am in some ways very sensitive, and so I'm going to use myself as example, right? Because I fulfill condition number one. My birthright was questionable. Right? My mom and my dad, they weren't married. In fact, my mom was just my father's mistress when I was born and stayed being his mistress. They didn't get married until I was like 21 years old. Uh, so for my entire childhood, I was known as illegal offspring. I was a bastard son. This is why when I read Game of Thrones, I identify with the bastard sons, like Jon Snow and a lot of those rogue knights, the knights that were bastards. Because I know what they went through. I know how it feels. Um, when you have that thing, when you have that condition where your birthright is questionable, anyone in your family can hit you over the head with that anytime. 7:33 p.m. Two notifications. You be quiet. Rogers, status bar up. That's just kitten's phone talking. Um, I don't know why that phone sounds like uh, uh, not that kind of a cheeky person, but
Be nice.
she like it like that.
Be
Yeah.
nice.
You ought to hear the way her phone say my name, Johnny Tai. Anyway, now, thanks a lot. You just like totally flew my train of thought. Um, so when the person have that vulnerability at birth, a thing that is not even their fault, that people can use against them anytime there's an argument, that's when a heart of glass can develop. Because in your heart of heart, you are always afraid someone's going to bring that up. Someone's going to bring up this fact that you can't even argue against. When someone calls you a bastard, you can't even argue against that because you are. Okay, so there's that insecurity that comes at birth that develop into a very sensitive personality. So, very questionable birthright is condition number one that will happen to a lot of people that have this extremely sensitive personality. Condition number two, uh, is that the person's self-image is questionable. The person's self-image is questionable. Again, let me use myself as an example because I fulfill condition number two as well. Since I lost my eyesight at the age of 3, my idea of if I looked okay was often at the mercy of other people when I was growing up. I didn't know. I couldn't look in the mirror and say, compare myself to Bruce Lee or somebody. I couldn't look in the mirror and look at myself and I say, wow, I look like Chow Yun Fat. No, I couldn't do that. In fact, I didn't know what I looked like comparing to other people. So when I was growing up, if I pleased someone, if people liked me, if aunties and uncles liked me, they would tell me, "Oh, you look like a nice looking boy." But if I displease somebody, they're going to say, "Your eyes look weird. You don't smile. Your smile look weird. What's wrong with your haircut?" I couldn't argue against that because I didn't know. I didn't like. Maybe they were right. Maybe I did look weird. And then when I was growing up, I went through a period of time. My stepmother and her children told me every day that I was like the ugliest looking person in the world. That I was so hideous. That's why my mom didn't want to be with me. Why my dad didn't want to be here. Um, and they took any pleasure they could to point out what I did to make myself look even worse. Oh, look at how you eat. You're eating the way you eat. You're getting things on your shirt. You're already ugly. You shouldn't be doing that. Now you look messy and ugly. It wasn't until I started to get a bit older and being more exposed to the society, to other people, that I started building more of a uh, self-confidence in my look. I'll never be able to compare with Sylvester Stallone or any one of those guys. But at least uh, as I mingle with people more, and people started to comment more on how I look, how I walk, how I present myself, I got a good idea that no, I'm not hideous. I'm actually quite pleasing to some people. There's a lot of women out there who like Johnny Tiger.
Love Johnny Tiger.
Oh, John Tiger. Kitten hates that part because a lot of time they get women paying too much attention to Johnny Tiger. But anyway, I have to deal with people paying attention to Kitten too. So that's what that's what you have to deal with when you're a good-looking couple. But
Yeah,
no, that's,
yeah.
anyway. So a lot of time, the second condition is that you are going to have a person who their self-image is called into question, and they may be very confident about themselves, but they're going to have some part of them that they're not confident about. Maybe they think that maybe they are too fat, maybe they are too short, maybe they're too skinny, maybe they have too many pimples on their faces. There's going to be a niggling little voice in their mind that always questioning that. So if a person is constantly dealing with this develop into a harder glass because you never know. You're going to say something that's going to call that insecurity into question, and suddenly they are angry and pissed off because you just touched a sensitive spot. Number three, the third condition that can create a heart of glass is when the person's education is questionable. And I'm not just talking about education that's in school or university. I'm not talking about just that. I'm talking about upbringing. the person's education from from childhood. And again, this is one part that uh, is I can say that I fulfill that third condition as well. Because from very young, I was brought up by my nanny Maru, who tried to teach me all the good morals and values of the world. And yet, when I look around myself in my family, my father, my mother, my stepmother, my siblings, what were they doing? My uncles, my aunts, what were they doing? None of them were doing these virtuous, moral stuff. My parents, especially, they were constantly getting involved with shady criminal activities, gambling, drinking, all that stuff. And that's what the world that was around me. So my understanding of the world was very conflicted. On the one hand, I was being taught if you want to be a good person, this is what you got to do. You got to be honest. You got to be polite. But when I look around myself, no one's honest. No one's polite. And when I was being honest, I got punished. When I wanted to be polite, people treated me as being with rudeness. So what was the deal with that? And this continued into my early adulthood when I first uh, started going to college and finding job and stuff like that. I had such a problem dealing with the world because the world I found myself in was not the same world that this virtuoso woman trying to teach me that how to interact with people should be. I was always disappointed. I was always surprised that people could be so callous and crass and rude to someone who have multiple disability and stuff like that. So my education, even though it was a good education, even though I did go through university and all that stuff, in the end, my education was a very uh, conflicted education. On the one hand, I was being taught the moral, the virtue, and all that stuff. On the other hand, I was reminded every day that the world wasn't like that. So this would result in an insecurity in my mind that am I not doing this right? Am I like expecting too much, or am I letting everybody down? Uh, Maybe I tried a little bit harder, then people would like me and be more polite. Maybe, or maybe people are this way to me because maybe I am as ugly as they told me. So this lead back to second condition. So as you can see, all three conditions intermingle together. One can lead to another, and this insecurity will just swallow you whole if you're not careful. So all these three conditions, even if just one of them is met, can develop into a lot of insecurity in the person's psyche that lead into a heart of glass, a heart that is kind and gentle and generous and detail oriented and very, very giving. But there's going to be hidden triggers that the moment you touch those triggers, boom, it's off. The person is not talking to you and you don't know what you did. So how do we deal with people that have hearts of glass? Because yeah, a lot of we understanding them is one thing, and wanting to understand and wanting to learn about them is another thing. But let's be honest, let's be brutal. We all have our own things to deal with. We all have our own bills to pay. We all have our own life and dramas and traumas that we deal with every day. Do we really have time to deal with that kind of insecurity, that kind of sensitivity? Should we even bother? The answer is yes. You can't just turn your back on people with hearts of glass because, well, number one, I already mentioned people who are sensitive like that sometimes are your best allies. Sometimes they are your best workers. But even if even if you can look past that part, even if they say, "Oh, I don't give a damn. I don't want them to be my best friend. I don't want them to be my best worker. I don't want to deal with them." Well, what if it's your own children? What if it's your own siblings? What if it's your own parents? Sometimes you don't get a choice. You have to be around these people. So learning how to coexist with them, learning how to smooth their fur down when they get pissed off is very important. And that's basically what we're here to talk about today. And luckily, I know this is a long episode, but uh, it's not that complicated. It just takes three things. Three and three. There's three conditions that can create people with hearts of glass, and there's three conditions that can make you get along with them a lot better. All you need to do is keep these in mind. Number one, when you're dealing with someone who's highly sensitive and easily offended, and who has a lot of hidden insecurities and triggers, the biggest thing you need to remember is patience. Okay? You can't fight fire with fire. You're joking, they're joking, you're joking, they're joking, and suddenly they're pissed off, they're annoyed, they're really angry at you. You can't be like, well, why are you being such a little pansy? You can't provoke them back. You can't be angry right back. Okay? Uh, this is a time when you need to be patient and understand that it's not about you. It's not even about them. You touch something that hurts a lot. Accidentally. You didn't know it's going to happen, but you did. And now they're expressing it in the only way they can, by getting mad. Because getting mad is better than crying and getting depressed. Right? Getting mad make you feel strong, powerful, in control. If you don't get mad, you just cry, you just curl up, and you feel like you're getting hurt all over again. So they get mad. That's okay. That's okay. Now, be patient. Let them yell, let them cry, let them throw things, let it blow over, and then sit down and play it back to them. Restate what happened. Okay, I want to understand why you got mad. Okay, I want to know if there's something I said that I need to apologize for. I want to know what I'm apologizing for. So, uh, this is my memory of events. You said this. You called me fat, and I called you fat, and then you called me a shorty, and then I tell you that you have too many hair on your face, and then you got mad. So what's going on? Like, what? Why is that why is that suddenly a problem? Take time, talk to them, because a lot of times that's all it takes is patience, understanding, and willingness to sit down and just say, hey, it's okay. You yelled at me, it's okay. I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. Right? That's all it takes. Incidentally, when Kitten and I first got together, uh, my nanny Maru uh, told me on the phone. She said, "You have a good woman there. And always remember, be patient. Always remember, be patient. Number one, be patient. Number two, being right is not everything. Always remember that." And it's a good advice because I myself has a heart of glass. I have hidden triggers that sometimes Kitten unknowingly trip over and I get really mad. So knowing that about myself, I need to know that she might have hidden triggers that I might touch off sometime. So what? Okay, we'll yell at each other. She can yell at me. I can yell at her, and then we sit down and talk and be patient and communicate. and everything's okay. So when you deal with someone who's sensitive, you can't react the way they do. Right? If you react the way they do, or if you're just like, well, you're being so unreasonable, I don't want to talk to you anymore, you're feeding into their insecurity because now you are proving to them that you are not that good of a friend. You're proving to them that you don't care. You're proving to them that what they thought about you might be true. Okay? So being patient is step number one. Step number two, when you deal with someone who has this much sensitivity, it's very important to show them that you trust them. Now, I'm not saying that just constantly tell them I trust you, because that anyone can say that. That doesn't count for anything. When the way to show them that you trust them is to ask them for things, ask them to do things, ask them to help. Now, uh, always make sure you include them in projects, in things that they can do. Don't just do the I'm so afraid of offending them. I don't even want them near me when I'm doing things, so I'm just going to sit them in the corner because every time I talk to them, I seem to offend them. No, the more you do that, the more you offend them because now you're showing them that they are worthless. Now you're showing them that they are not worthy to be part of your team. And if you really want to help out and deal with people who have hard glass, you need to show them that they are worthy. They are good at doing things. You need to let them do things. You need to give them things to do. The more you show them how confident you are in them, and the more that harder glass will uh, get smaller and smaller, and eventually you won't have that much problem with them. Now, Uh, once in a while, they'll complain. Once in a while, they'll say, how come you can't do this without me? How come you're always asking me? I don't feel like it. How come you are you taking advantage of me?" They'll say things like that. But don't let them when they don't let them fool you. Right? Just keep telling them that because I'm asking you because you're the best person for this job. I'm asking you because I'm really tired and I can't do this. Right? Just keep stroking their ego, to put it bluntly. People with that much sensitivity have a very fragile ego sometimes, and that ego need to be fed. Now, you don't want to overinflate them. You don't want to lie to them and say you are the only person who can do this for me. No, you want to say you are the best person who's doing this for me. You are the best choice right now. Uh, can I do it without you? Yeah, sure, I can do it without you, but the result's going to suck. So I would really appreciate it if you can do it for me, because you are much better at it than I can, than I am. Uh, that's how I trick kitten into washing dishes all the time. No, I don't. I mean, she's really really good at it. And when I wash dishes like a dude. I, it's clean. It's clean on the inside. I don't care what the outside look like. Uh,
Really?
Um, so yeah, condition number two is you need to trust them. You need to make them feel useful. You need to get some things to do. Condition number three, and this one is a little bit tougher and take a lot of combination of condition one and two. Right? It's really like this one is tough because sometimes when you misjudge uh, how close you are with them, when you misjudge your step, they blow up in your face all over again. And that is when you have to exercise condition number one, that patience. Okay? So, but condition number three, you need to play with them. I'm not saying that playing with them like playing tricks on them or playing pranks on them, but you need to make them understand that it is okay to play with you. It is okay to joke. because you will joke with them right back. It is okay to uh, be a little bit sarcastic because you will be sarcastic right back, and you need to show them where the line is. You need to uh, be that. You need to make yourself their playmate because when you are in their mind, when they see you as their playmate, when they see you as their soulmate, when they see you as their playful, unknowing friend, then they won't take you so seriously. And they won't blow up in your face every time you trigger them because they're going to think that's just him. Yeah. I'll give you an example with me and my good friend Kevin, for example. My good friend Kevin and I, we've known each other for 20 odd years. Kevin can get away with more things than almost any other one of my friends by calling me fat or calling me ugly or stuff like that because I know it's just him. He doesn't mean anything when he says it. He just like to run his mouth. And I know that I can say it right back to him. A lot of time when we talk to each other, we just uh, sort of poke at each other so much that it's almost like a game to see who gets mad first. If you get mad, then that means, oh, what happened? We're a little bit sensitive today? What's the matter? You okay? And then suddenly you turn into, you try to find out if the person is okay. You suddenly turn into, no, we're not playing anymore. Now we are actually uh, caring for the person. Okay, so it's a very uh, intricate kind of situation when you can become that friend to the person. So condition number three is you need to play with the person. You need to be okay with them losing their shit once in a while and yell at you. Just let them calm down. Go back to being patient. Go back to being understanding. But don't let that playfulness go away. Don't be scared to talk to them. Don't be scared to joke with them. The more you joke with them, the more comfortable they'll be. And one day you will find that the heart is no longer a heart of glass. The heart gets tougher and warmer, less easy to damage. And you will find that they are, like I said, some of the best friends, some of the best workers, some of the best people you can have on your team because of being so sensitive. They pay attention to all the details that you may miss. They'll pay attention to making sure that everybody is okay. They'll be uh, the caregiver. They'll be the counselor. They'll be the advisor that you need to uh, be able to accomplish your goal or to have a very good friendship. So is it a lot of work? Yes, it is a lot of work dealing with someone who's hypersensitive, sensitive, someone who have, in the Chinese term, heart of glass. But in the end, you may find this really worth it if you want to invest the time and patience and understanding to cultivate this kind of relationship. I know a lot of people say, "Wow, that is like so much work. That why would I go out of my way to do this?" Well, I'm going to end today's episode and telling you guys something that is a cliche, but it's very true. Nothing good is ever gained without a lot of hard work. I hope that this helped you guys out sometime, and Kitten and I will go make her dinner now, and then I'll make her wash dishes afterward. Well, we'll see you guys later.
Good night.
Good night.